Hi, this is Josh Olson. You're watching Trailers from Hell, and it's time to get just plumb mean and take on Clint Eastwood in The Outlaw Josey Wales. It's important to realize that in spite of all the critical acclaim we currently associate with Clint Eastwood, there was a long, long time when his movies, among them some of his best, were perceived as nothing more than escapist garbage. The true believers knew otherwise, and that's why we flocked to his movies. I don't think anyone can answer the question of what is the best Western ever made, but there are a few answers that won't get you laughed out of the room. The Searchers, The Wild Bunch, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, Once Upon a Time in the West, and you have to include The Outlaw Josey Wales. This is a wonderful movie based very loosely on a very, very odd book called The Rebel Outlaw Josey Wales by a somewhat less than salutary fellow named Asa Earl Carter. Carter fought against integration and civil rights, wrote speeches for George Wallace, and was a member of the Klan. But he laid out the groundwork for a story that was quite compelling, and with the help of writers Sonia Chernus and the very great Philip Kaufman, Eastwood drained all the difficult politics out of the book and helped craft it into a powerful piece of work. I remember at one point being so obsessed with this film that I tried to read the book, and I made it about a third of the way through, but couldn't. Having read the book, I'm doubly impressed with the fact that they actually managed to pull this great story out of it. Philip Kaufman was originally supposed to direct the film, but after some significant differences of opinion with Clint, Eastwood took over the direction himself. At first glance, and in the trailer, it looks like the quintessential Eastwood loner badass movie. They killed his wife and kid, and now he's going to get some revenge. But what it's really about is a guy who's kind of trying to be that loner, but they just won't let him. He keeps getting saddled with all these wonderful characters, kind of building this family around him in spite of what he really wants. First and foremost is Chief Dan George, who is a Canadian Indian with no real formal training in acting, who's a natural in front of the camera. Probably remember him as well from Little Big Man, where he was great too. He has all the funniest lines in the movie, and his relationship with Clint is one of the warmest ever put on film. The great Will Sampson also shows up from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest a few years later. Eastwood was determined to make a movie that showed American Indians in a different light than they were usually. These characters didn't just have nobility and strength, they had vulnerability and a real sense of humor.
Outlaw Josey Wales.